What's up, everybody? Welcome to Calling All Bowlers, episode 25. Hope everybody's having an awesome Saturday. What is everybody up to? We're going to get our guest on here, Miss Elizabeth, and we will get everything ready to rock and roll here. So, appreciate you guys coming out. Hey, what's up, Steven? It's good to see you. All right, so we're waiting on Miss Elizabeth to get in here. Got a lot to talk about here. I'm doing all right. How you been, Steven? You gotta have your water. Oh man, it's gonna be a good episode tonight. I'm really excited to have Miss Elizabeth Warren on. And what's up, Philip? How you doing, buddy? Welcome in. Really excited to get to know her. There is our guest. Let me get her invited on here. That has been sent. All right.
Hello.
Hey, let me get the camera invite sent to you.
There we go.
Hey, there she is.
Hi.
Miss Elizabeth, welcome in. How are
You guys might see my cats in the background from time to time.
Oh, that's fine. It is what it is. Uh-oh. All right. Everything's playing catch up right here. So I'm trying
Speaking
to
of
get
cats,
this
one just
situated here.
all right.
Just jump up on you. All right. Cool. Just trying to get everything finalized. Yeah, you called it. You manifested that. So, but how are you doing?
I'm good. I had a long day. We went to my niece's graduation party. So we actually got home about 20 minutes ago. We were pushing time. A little out of my
Okay.
comfort zone.
Well, you timed it right. So I'm actually a little out of
Yeah.
my element because I'm at my dining room table because of what's going on with my roof right now. I don't feel comfortable sitting over there, even though I got 4x4s. But such
Right.
is life. It comes and it goes. So, but I'm glad to have you on the show. Just want to welcome everybody in here. Calling All Bowlers, episode 25. We are 25 episodes in, doing this thing since April of 2024. And a year and a half later, here we are with the 25th episode. So I got Miss Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth came into one of my lives one night, and it's just been rock and roll and everything else in between. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but let's get the what I like to call the early shindigs out of the way. Elizabeth, tell us a little bit more about yourself and where are you from and where are you currently residing from?
Well, I am 31 years old. I live in Ohio. I'm married. I have 3 kids and 2 cats. I am in Cleveland, Ohio, in the suburbs of Cleveland. I've been here about 5 years, but lived in Ohio my whole life.
How do you like Cleveland?
You know, it has its good days and it has its bad days. Last year on the day before Halloween, there was a drive-by on our road, so it was rough. It was rough, but other than that, we're okay. It's a nice little area.
Okay. So I guess that was an isolated incident, or we're gonna guess that was isolated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, for our road,
For
for
your
our
road.
road.
Okay. All right. No,
Yeah.
that's completely fair. All right. So 31 from Ohio, been there your whole life, married with 3 kids. How long? How long have you and your husband been married?
A year and a half, but we've been together since 2018, early 2019.
Okay.
So
So
yeah.
what took so long? What took so long to tie the knot?
You got me.
Got me? Oh, okay. So that was a. You're gonna put
You
that on
got
him.
me. You got me.
You're gonna put that on him. All right. You
I
heard
know.
it.
His well, we got engaged 2 years in, and then we had another baby. We had another baby. Life became life, and then his mom got sick, and we put a fast track on our wedding.
Okay.
So
Okay. No. That. Okay. Understand. Life circumstances. Got it. Got it. Got it. That happens. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So I was reading over your. I got a copy right here. This is where I write my notes down. So I basically have a good set to be able to go
I'm
through.
glad you have a copy.
Yeah, no, no, that's good. See, this is why I'm the host. This is why the host has the copies here. So helps keep us on track, and it helps me to keep from me going off and off into the rabbit hole, if you will. Um, so one thing I like
Right.
that I read is about your hobbies and interests outside of bowling. You say you enjoy all types of music, but come on now,
Yes.
what's the genre? What's the favorite genre out of all that? You can like music, but you got to have a genre. Do you not?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite genre
Okay.
because I do like all types of music. But right now, one that I'm really big into is just like it's not like rap per se, but it's like weird. It's like that song Pillow Talk. It's that Pangea song.
Okay.
Like
So you're more
I
of
think
a
it's Little Dicky or
so
something.
you're more of mainstream. You would say
No,
main.
not really. But like if it clicks in my head, I'll listen to it for like 50 hours straight, and then I'll get sick of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm on board with that. I've listened to one track off of a CD and everything, and yeah, no, I totally get it. So, well, I tell you what. Tell us some of your favorite like bands or artists. Okay. Tell us some stuff. Because if you're going to bowl
Well,
a
growing
tournament, you
up,
got to get hyped.
I okay. So if I have a whole bowling playlist, and I can actually share it, not right now, but it's like pumped up music, and it ranges from Missy Elliott to My Chemical Romance to like classical music and dubstep. Like it's up there and down here, and it's over here and it's over here, and
Okay.
sometimes people will be like, Liz, what are you listening to? And I'm like, just take a listen. They're like, what is this?
So it's like this is what's going through my head right now. uh, Let me
Exactly.
ask you this, okay? You said something about vocal sheet music arrangements like it's a second language. Explain to all of us more about
Yes.
that. Educate those of us
Okay,
that don't know.
so I grew up in choirs, like music and um, school choirs, community choirs. So when there's a piece of music that's in front of me and somebody says, sing it, I can do that. As long as it's like old school. I don't know if music is music. I know it's a universal thing, and that's what's beautiful about it. But I hope that it doesn't change like with the sheet music. So it's like a book, sheet music. It's like a book, and it's like there's ways you have to read it. Like bars, you read it, the notes you have to read, and then it goes on from there. So if that makes any sense.
So it's just kind of like you're like again, like you're knowing like which pitch to hit when you're singing or whatever that case may be.
Pretty
Is
much.
that's what I'm under? Okay, okay. No, that's cool.
Pretty much.
Uh, all right, life goals. You remember what you said? Well,
Um,
tell us your life goals.
maybe about maybe about my business. Was it about my business?
Okay, well, the first thing here, which
I
it
don't
made
remember.
me chuckle, is because you said you wanted to be a comedian.
Oh my God, yes. I do want to be a comedian someday,
Mhm.
but I have crippling stage fright to the point where it sends me into an adrenaline attack.
Mhm.
And I just that's a no for me. So I will happily be the funny person in the bowling alley or at work or the grocery store, and I will always be cracking a "that's what she said" joke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you guys have seen me type in the comments. That's what she's.
Uh-huh. I remember that. But tell me this, okay? So at one point, you just said like if you're at work or if you're in the bowling alley or whatever the case may be, like you're comfortable and everything. So it started out somewhere. Did you say you used to have stage fright at the bowling alley?
I do have stage fright at the bowling alley.
When?
I mean, like if I'm joking, with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
that is okay. But like random people, like I feel like I would have a terrible anxiety attack if people paid to come see me. You know what I mean? And I would just like maybe I just put too much pressure on myself,
Okay.
and I would be afraid that they would all want their money back or something.
Well, uh, listen, it's like I've always said, like I used to have that same fright too. And I remember, God, this is like 2008. I was taking a class, and it was one of the general. It was like the general eds that you had to take. So when you took it, one of them was a speech. So it was a requirement for my degree. So I was like, okay, well, I ain't got no choice with this. But uh, I started off, and I was like what you said. Like I was like, look, y'all, like this is gonna be terrible. I'm just telling you this right now. But the more that other people got up there and they kind of had to do it behind me or I had to follow them, we all kind of figured out like, oh, hey, look, we're in this together. So, you know, I think it's a really like, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like with DGAB, you know, I always tell them like, if you have an idea about something, go after it and throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. And lo and behold, 4.5 years later, we're here with DGAB still. So, you know, I, as a host, am going to tell you, talking to a lot of people, just give it a shot, girl. If you
I
find yourself bowling and you are willing to put yourself out there, give it a shot, girl. Do that. Do your thing.
It's funny. My therapist always tells me that she's going to be my first paying customer.
Let's see.
And so, but I don't know if she's obligated to say that because I pay her or,
You just made your first joke right there. See,
or
look, you're figuring it out.
she
See,
was,
you just got to have somebody right there to be like, "Hey, come on, you're doing great. Keep it up." So,
right.
but no, I'm totally with you on that. Another thing you said is you let's see, you were like I said, you had a little bit where you was all over the place here, which is great because that tells me like as a childhood you aspired to be many things, and I like this because it's a lot of good stuff for us to talk about here. Uh, I've got to know like you go from comedian, then you wanted to be in the WNBA. So uh, where
Right.
where did the hoops come in? Like when did you start with basketball?
So I started with basketball from when I was like a really young kid. And I have always been tall. I'm still tall. Um, and back then I would like go to the park and play. And family reunions, I would be there with all of my male cousins. And that's just something that I always wanted to do. And then like I got a little older and I was like, maybe not. And then I hit a fork in the road where it was, do I join the basketball team in high school? Do I join the basketball team or do I join the bowling team? Because we couldn't play two sports at one time. So I went with bowling. And that's when my goals changed a little bit and I wanted to be a meteorologist.
Okay.
And I still maybe someday I'll go to meteorology school. Right now is it's not possible at the moment, but when my kids are a little older, I think maybe.
Okay. So what do you like about meteorology? Like what brought that interest into play?
I would watch storm chasers on like Discovery Channel, like relentlessly. It would be on my television nonstop. And it started with that. And then we would get like living in the Midwest, we would get tornado sirens all the time. And my dad and I, we would be out on our porch just watching for the weather. And I feel like that's a pretty Midwestern thing to do, though. And yeah, I still love the storms today. Like, it's just soothing. I can sleep straight through them.
So tornado sirens and everything, and Elizabeth's just sound asleep, right? Okay.
Now, when it goes off on my phone, that's when I'm like, maybe we should go down into the basement.
Okay, so there is a limit to it. Okay, I got you.
Yes.
We hear that here a lot here in the South, and it's just like, okay, I'm going back to sleep.
We had like I think 4 confirmed tornadoes in Cleveland last August. So it's going on a year now, and it did a lot of damage. I don't think anybody died from it, but it did a lot of damage to a lot of our communities up here. So
Okay. Well, taking this time right now for every one of y'all getting yourselves comfortable and sitting in with us, we are talking to Miss Elizabeth Warren. Miss Elizabeth is representing the state of Ohio. So if anybody has any questions for Miss Elizabeth, then write them in. I'm going to put them on my notes here, and we're going to go through them at the end of the show. Cajun, thank you for the heart me. I do appreciate that. One other thing like I said, the beginning of things here. Okay, you also said you collect funny enamel button pins. Please.
yes, I do. I should have brought them downstairs.
Please tell me what those are.
Like they're like so they're like pins that you put on a shirt or a bag or something.
Okay.
And like some of them, yeah, and some of them says like I have one. It's Danny DeVito saying, "Anyways, I just started blasting," and it's just him like
Okay.
so.
I guess, and that's
But
your
I
favorite
like
one.
I have no. My favorite ones would. I should have brought them down. I didn't think ahead. I should have brought them down. I normally have them all on my bowling bag, but because I traveled so much, I didn't want them to get lost on the planes or stuck anywhere.
You didn't
So I
want
took
them to
them
not
off.
be accepted too. I get
And
that.
yeah,
All right, last thing too.
but
you said-
I have some.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I have some Office ones that are my favorite from the television show The Office. So, and then I have one that says, "Why can't I do it with the courage of a mediocre white man?" And it's just great. It's great.
Okay. Well, hey, like I said, look, as long as it brings you joy, that's all that matters. But no, I had an idea about them, but I always get clarification. It's like I have something going through my head and I don't want it to be the wrong thing. So it's like somebody showed me and then I'll know, okay, I was right or I was wrong. So I was good on that one. No, the last thing I wanted to ask you about, you talked about as a child you wanted to be was an architect. So we've went through, if you will, we went through comedian to choir
Or
to WNBA to meteorology and then an architect. So, okay, architect.
yes.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, but that dream is long gone. I still, to this day, like really admire city skylines. Like driving into Cleveland for downtown Cleveland, for instance, like I am in awe every single time. I live 10 minutes away from it now, but I'm in awe. And I really admire buildings, like pretty buildings. So
Okay. Pretty
it,
buildings.
it makes sense in my head.
No, I get it because it's like, when a couple comes into the pro shop and it's like, we're looking for these performance balls. And then the wife goes, 9 times out of 10, the wife goes, as long as it looks pretty. So no, I totally get that.
Yeah.
So that's it right there. So, okay. All
Yeah.
right. So another thing about it is, like I said, I'm almost like wanting to come out and say, like, Elizabeth, you are like the Jill of all trades here with everything that I've read here.
Mhm.
And you have, it looks like you do three different things as far as jobs go. So let's talk a little bit about those. Go like a couple of details into everything that you do work wise.
Okay, so the biggest thing I do, first and foremost, during the day, I stay home with my special needs children. I take care of them. I have three children, but two of them are autistic. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of doctor's appointments. It's a lot of travel time. It's a lot of sensory needs, a lot of screeching, and that's a lot of work. So that is the number one job that I'm not paid for. But everything else, I own a bakery called 10 Pin Confections, and I bake out of my kitchen. I started that when my my second daughter was born. I was I had postpartum depression really bad, and it turned into postpartum psychosis. And my therapist, like, I was just baking all of the time, and I'm like, what do I do with all of this stuff? Both my therapist and my husband, my fiance at the time, they were like, sell it. Like, you can sell this. You can make a living off of it. And if it weren't for them, I would not have ever started that. So this is what, more than 5 years now that I've been selling and baking out of my kitchen. And it's, I closed for the summer due to like health reasons and travel, but other than that, it's pretty successful. And then I work activities in a nursing home. I run like bingo, and I'm a confidant, and I am like, I'm a person that a resident might just need to talk to. Like, sometimes I'm the only person that a resident has, because some people, their families don't come in to see them. So I'll go in and I'll sit with them. And there have been times where residents are passing away, and the activities team will go in, will sing them one of their favorite songs, and they'll pass away a couple days later. And I'm getting the chills because that's a really important job that people don't really think about. It's more than just bingo. It's like being a friend or family member in place of a friend or family member. And then I'm also I work for a really good caterer, and I do prep work, like food prep work for him, and event staffing for him as well. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, here I have. All right, I have a couple of questions. Again, like I said, I think it's something
Okay.
we all can learn about here because, like I said, out of the three things that you spoke about, okay. So I had a previous guest on here. Her name was Jen from California. She has an autistic son, so we got to talking on her episode a little bit more about autism, and there's a lot of things that are. I think a good word here would be like it's very stigmatized, if you will. And if there's a couple things you'd want to let people know, like in order to educate, because I'm all about education. You always learn something new. Is there anything you could share with us, like through your experience? Like, because you said it was like really, really tough in appointments. So I just kind of want to elaborate more on that in your, you know.
Right. Right. So appointments are really tough. And it comes down to the doctors listening to you. Like me as a parent, I'm my child's like, first defense. I'm with my child every single day. I know what my child does. Like, I see they don't do this anymore, but they would like take their head and like hit it on everything. It could be concrete, it could be a car, it could be a wall, bricks. And then I'd take them to the doctor, and I'm like, something's not right. What is going on? And I would tell them, and they're like, well, we don't see it. And so you have to be like, the hardest thing is being an advocate for your children and not being heard by the medical professionals that you pay for. Like, you pay for them to listen to you, to treat and to find what's going on with your children. And I fortunately once we moved up to Cleveland, for a while, all of our pediatricians were down like where I lived. But then once we moved everything up here, our team has been so incredible. And like right now, I could be like, hey, this is what's going on. Their doctor will get me in 2 days. Like it's super important to advocate for your children because you are the person who knows 100%. And if your doctor is saying no, find a new doctor. Find a different doctor. It's okay to fire doctors.
That I completely agree with that. That's what I meant by the word stigmatized, because it's like you just said. You said it very well spoken about. Is you are your child's first defense and advocate. You know, you're being their advocate, and it's even in the case of like I even go as far as like there were. You know, when my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer, there were a lot of doctors that just, they didn't want to listen to us on certain things. And it was like, hey, like, you're not seeing this. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So I empathize with that as far as like the doctors, because they were doing a lot of stuff to my dad. I was like, hey, this is not necessary. So definitely a really good message on that, Miss Elizabeth. And I appreciate you sharing that. The second thing I want to ask you, okay, you're talking about, and it's kind of like you do bingo, you talk to those at well, how did you word it? Like, what's it? I feel awful for saying nursing home because you said something. I don't know what you said you worked at. What was the term you used?
It's a nursing home.
Okay. Well,
I don't remember, but it is a nursing home.
I'm going to say senior residential community. Because I used to be a dishwasher for a senior residential community. They had assisted living and, you know, unassisted. So, but no, like you're talking about bingo and talking to them. Any kind of experience with that? You know, was there one moment that it was kind of like I'll never forget this moment because it brought perspective into my life type deals? Because I'm sure. And you tell me if I'm wrong. You tell me if I'm wrong.
So something I really didn't consider before. So my dad's dad, my grandfather, he was in nursing homes before I started working in nursing homes. And I'm sorry, my cat scared me.
No, you're good. You're good.
You see, you only see one side and you don't see behind the scenes. And coming from a family perspective, yes, you want what's best for your family member 100%. And I, as an employee, I'm going to advocate for that. However, if you are not visiting your family member every single day, 24/7, even 5-6 hours a day, you don't know what is going on 100%. And it took like 2 weeks working at the nursing home that I was like, that is different. And like, it's just, you see a lot of like, I personally, I see a lot of death, a lot of people passing away. I see a lot of like psych residents, and the common denominator that's always been missing is family most of the time. And I give me 1 second. I had a train of thought that I was going with, but I lost it.
I'm right there with you.
I know. But it's just night and day between being a family member and being an employee. If it triggers in my head, I will tell you. I do apologize.
Oh, again, like I said, I don't want to cause any undue stress on you with that. But I just figured, like I said, if you being able to help people understand, like, you know, perspectives. You know, we go back to that word perspective. It's always good to kind of be given a perspective about things so we can kind of understand better. And that's kind of what I've always tried to do in life is just say, you know, put yourself in other people's shoes and hopefully they'll try to put themselves in your shoes, and then we can all understand each other better. So, all right, last question
And
here from
I
them.
will.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, no.
I will say there are good nursing homes and there are bad nursing homes. And if you feel that your loved one at any point is being neglected, not getting what they need, not getting fed enough, you can call people who will come in and correct it. And just like being an autistic parent, like parent to autistic children, you as a family member also have to be a huge advocate for your loved one in a nursing home. And it's okay to take them out of that nursing home and put them in somewhere else. It's 100% okay. Don't leave them because of convenience. Like, make sure that they're taken care of. So.
Completely agree with that. Really good mindset you have there, Miss Elizabeth. Let me ask you one last question on non-bowling related. Okay, so the third part of your jobs, the caterer. Or catering. So how did that become a thing?
So one of my bowling teammates is one of the chefs that work for the caterer that I work for. And she had told me, I'm going to shout her out because I think she's going to watch when you put this on YouTube. Her name's June. And she's actually one of Cleveland's younger upcoming bowlers. And I'm so proud of her. But one of my bowling teammates was like, hey, we need servers and event and like food prep people from time to time. Are you interested? Because she knew that I had background in like baking, and sometimes I'll pick up in the nursing home kitchen or something like that. And I'm like, absolutely. And it just blossomed to be a beautiful thing. So thank you, June.
Well, God bless you, June. And again,
bowling brought me that job.
bowling brought you. Okay. So again, everybody, networking does work. Okay. Don't ever let anybody tell you it doesn't. So, actually, and I told a fib here, the last part of non-bowling related with you, Miss Elizabeth. What is something most people do not know about yourself?
I think I put so much stuff down there, but the one thing that I do remember is my childhood and teenage years, my nickname was Lizard. And my close group of friends to this day still call me Lizard. And now those lizard videos?
The one I just posted today? Is that why you said what you said?
Every single one of them finds like these personal videos and sends it to me. Like one of my friends yesterday, it was a bowling one, and I think I might have reposted it, but he sent it to me, and it was like when you're playing the same line and you refuse to move and adjust, and it's just like lizard, and I'm like, you're really calling me out right now. So it's just. Yeah.
Am I the one calling you out for saying I've given 4 lessons? Am I the one really calling you out for 4 lessons and then going back to your old habits? Is that really you? Come on now.
That's me, unfortunately. I've made big strides of listening nowadays. I have a hard time listening to my husband when it comes to bowling. And I
wonder why.
People in the past have called me uncoachable, but that's not the case. You just got to coach me the right way. So I'm very particular.
Okay, so what's coaching Lizard? What's coaching Lizard the right way?
One thing at a time.
Okay.
One thing at a time. Because if you throw one thing at me and it turns into this, and then it turns into that, and it turns into this, or you throw like, you do this and then you do this and you do this and you do this, I'm overwhelmed and I'm crying. Like, that's how it is. You got to throw one thing at me at one time and let me work on the muscle memory. If it takes 4 weeks, it takes 4 weeks, but that's what it is.
I think a lot of people, again, like I think you said it best right there, and it kind of ties into people don't understand my style of coaching. When I coach people, it's like I will literally, like, if I have never worked with you, I take 30 minutes of that lesson and I just talk to you. And I try to get to
Hmm.
know you on a more of a personal level because I'm trying to get you, you know, I've got to earn your trust. That's my biggest thing. I've got to earn your trust, and you've got to feel comfortable being there. And I've had tons of kids I've worked with that their parents were trying to live vicariously through their kids' success. And I literally was like, "Do you want
Right.
to do this?" And they're like, "No, I'm not really interested in this." I would literally go to their parents and go, "They don't want to be coached. You need to have a talk with your kids." Same thing. Like, listen, talk to your kids. It's not hard. So,
Hmm.
uh, completely agree. I do like one or two things at a time and say, "Hey, let's get through this," and then we come back. We'll circle back to it, make sure you're good, and then on to the next one. So, completely agree. And that goes for anybody out there coaching anybody. Be patient. Patience is the biggest thing when it comes to coaching. I have had to learn it myself over the course of all the times I worked, the years I've been working in the shop. So, completely agree with your perspective on that. One last thing before we really get into the meat and potatoes of this. You said you're a sucker for baseball movies. So, what's your favorite baseball movie?
My favorite baseball movie is A League of Their Own,
Oh
the
my,
women in baseball, and it's
yes,
also, yep.
yes.
And my second favorite would have to be For the Love of the Game.
Oh, where would you rank Major League?
Ooh, Major League is good, but
Yeah.
it's not one of my. I
No, it
would
don't
say
have to.
in the top
10?
maybe seven.
All right,
It's a
7?
good
Okay.
movie.
Okay.
It's a really
Yes.
yeah.
See, and I think that's where I think that's where movie directors these days are kind of losing their edge because they don't have the substance for an entire movie. You know what I'm saying? It's like especially if they're like 2 hour movies, like they've got to keep you. They have to keep you in it. So
Yeah.
let's see, Chappie. This just ain't your day. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I see Steve right there. All right. So, Liz, how long have you been bowling overall?
I overall about 28 years and
Okay.
competitively about 15 years.
Okay. And when you say competitive, you're talking about going to really major tournaments, PWBA events, and stuff.
I have never been to a PWBA. That's going to change next year. I was going to do a regional when it's actually this month, but it's on my son's birthday. So, and it's his 13th birthday. It's a milestone birthday, so I'm not going to miss that.
Nope.
Um, so the PWBA comes to Cleveland next year. They come every year,
Mhm.
and I think I might do one of the tournaments that come up this way next year when I'm ready. um, Competitively, I did as a teenager. I did like JTBAs, which is like um, junior traveler sports leagues or
Mhm.
sports tournaments,
Mhm.
and I did junior gold. I did all of that. I did sport shot leagues, and then as an adult, I really like gave it up as an adult because I had my son when I was really young, and so I gave the competitive like bowling nature up. I still did leagues, but as far as like traveling, I gave that up, and I really have picked it up recently again.
Okay. Well, I will tell you what I've always told anybody: if you aspire to go out on the PWBA, everybody here is rooting for you, and you go out there and you give them hell, kid. Give them hell. All right. So, league check says you bowled one league last year. Is that going to be more this fall? Because
Yep,
Chase
I only
Leagues
bowled
are coming
one.
up soon.
I'm only signed up to do one this next year. It could change. Somebody asked me to do one of the women's leagues on Mondays, but Mondays is my work days. It really depends on my work schedule.
Okay. All right. So one for sure, but maybe two if the circumstances line up right.
Right. And I'll sub. I'm on a roster on two different leagues, but only one that I pay for.
Okay, fair, fair, fair. So just so you know, reading here in the chat, Mark says pro bowling is a different ball game. Just beware. Be
Oh,
ready.
I know. I know.
Uh, all right. So this is kind of going to be a little bit of like, how do you? Okay, I'm going to ask the question, but then I'm going to follow in how we're going to tie this in. Okay. How do you feel the
Okay.
state of bowling is currently? And when you're done with your answer, I actually read an article by Rick Hamlin today that I just absolutely was like, I feel the way he felt, but I could not put it into words. And then I read what he said, and it's like, that's what I've been trying to say. So, how do you
Right.
feel the state of bowling is currently?
So I feel like bowling is evolving. And once upon a time, even five or 6 years ago, had somebody asked me how I feel the state of bowling is, I would have said bowling is a dying sport. But now I disagree. Bowling is evolving, and I think I'm not a two-handed bowler, but I feel like two-handed bowling has revived the sport of bowling, and I don't think people give that grace, the amount of grace that it needs.
Hmm. So
So
why do you think that is? Why do you think they what is the resistance to two-handed bowling in your opinion?
I feel I personally feel like the youth is coming up. They are seeing Jason Belmonte, and then now some of the newer pros, and those kids are winning tournaments against regular bowlers like you and me, and those bowlers are unhappy because they lost to two-handed bowling. And I think that is the resistance. It's big. It's a big front. It's it's a big front. It's a. I don't have anything against two-handed bowling, and like I said, I'm not a two-handed bowler. I'll never be a two-handed bowler, but it it brought bowling back. So, in my personal opinion.
You make a comment here about the bowling center aspect of it. You actually said here, I think many centers care more about open bowling than they do their leagues. I'm guessing you have
Yes.
seen this
Yes.
personally
And
where
I
you're at.
will
Personally where you're at.
many times.
All right. Tell us a little bit more
Yes.
about that. Tell us about that
So
experience.
one of okay. So one of the houses that I grew up in was called Bill White's Akron Bowl, or Bill White's Twin Star Lanes. I'm sorry, there are two of them. Twin Star was taken over by AMF. AMF sold it back to Bill, and then Bill sold it to um, Spins. So when Spins came in, they took out, they told the league that was next to us, this is your last year. We're getting rid of the lanes. They made room for a huge arcade. And the league that was next to us had been there for like 18, 20 years. It was solid. It was a big league. And then they said, we're cutting out those lanes. And I don't know how they're doing. I know they still have pretty good leagues down there, but they don't have those lanes. So they got rid of all of that revenue for an arcade that only does good in the wintertime, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's in a college town too. But they're going in like, let's see, what is it? It's Spins Bowl. There are a couple like big corporate bowling chains coming in, taking over these lanes, putting in arcades, and just these leagues are folding. And I think if bowling is if bowling is done, it's going to be because of greedy corporations. I have seen mom and pop places take so much better care of their bowlers than the corporation.
You know, it's funny you say greedy corporations because I believe you were in this live when Mark and I were talking about, hey, I'm making $100,000 a year, but I want to make $200,000 a year because 200,000 is more than 100,000. It's like that 100,000 is comfortable for me, but I could make two. And again, it comes back to, as he just said right here, greed. But he also did say here in the chat, he
Great.
says,
Yeah.
the arcades satisfy our collective ADHD. So, no, that's okay. You said that Twin Star sold to AMF, AMF sold it back to Bill, and then he sold it back to Spins, and that's when they did all that, correct? They made all the changes? Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but hey, like you said, we could probably make another subject out of this, but I want to get to some of the other good stuff that you have here. Okay. Let me ask you this: you said that you're starting to get back into things competitively, like you're fixing to make that
Yes.
jump. Okay. So, what is some advice you would give to those starting to bowl more frequently?
I think what I put, you have to forgive yourself. You have to go in. I forget exactly what I put, but I remember it was really good. Why can't I remember it?
All right. Don't give up on yourself was your first thing.
Yes.
And practice
Yes.
makes progress.
Yes. Practice makes progress.
Mhm.
Progress makes results, and results equal like
Build confidence.
you could win some money on results.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the number one thing. You can't, as a new bowler, I would say you can't walk into a tournament with, I don't know, you got to be humble at all times. Bowling is a humble sport. And
Yes, ma'am.
the cockiness that I see, yeah, the cockiness that I see from an insider and an outsider, like even when I'm just spectating, some of it is insane. And then they beat themselves up when they miss the pocket. You gotta be easy on yourself. And that's right, you have to give yourself grace. Every shot is different. Learn from each shot. So
Okay. All right. So, another good question here for you. What would you tell those coming back to bowling after a long layoff from the game?
so I had a long layoff. I was off from like the end of 2019 to 2023 with like one league in there somewhere and a couple tournaments. First things first is you have to give yourself grace too in this aspect. But the first thing you should do is, if you're throwing the same equipment, go get your span checked. Your body changes after a long period of time off. You have to take care of your hands. Otherwise, they're going to hurt. Your body's going to hurt. You have to revisit the fundamentals. And that's something a lot of people don't really get. You can't go in after 15 years and go throwing the same 15-pound green rhino and expect it to fit your hand the same way. Like,
Keep preaching, girl. You heard me say this.
I've seen it personally. I've done it personally. Like,
You,
I had really bad arthritis in my hand, and I still have really, I don't know if you could see it. My ring finger, it does not straighten out.
mm-hmm.
And that's because when I was a kid, my hand got slammed in a car door twice in 10 minutes. So it never healed, but now I don't have flexibility in my finger. So after taking all of that time off, going from that to throwing again after so many years, my arthritis in my hand flared so bad it doubled my knuckles. It just doubled. And it took me like 3 or 4 pro shop operators to find like my fit. And I will never leave him now. Like I'm I the guy who drills my equipment is he's on the PBA 50. His name's Don Hogue, and he drills down in Akron. But he was the first person to ever tell me, when you throw the ball, your hand should not hurt. It should not hurt. And I know that people have ailments, people have hurt hands, but the amount of pain that I was in only when I bowled was not normal. So he was at the 50. Yes, he was. So, but yeah, you have to take care of your hands. You have to revisit fundamentals every single time you take a break.
I can tell you, your
I
boy
think that's what
is definitely on that break right now because, like I said, my stuff's hurting, and my doctor was like, "We could give you an injection." And I was like, "Doc, I can't get 6 to 8 weeks of relief and then go back to how this feels. I can't do it."
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
But Mark says he remembers your pro shop operator. So
Yeah, he's a really nice man. He's very thorough, and he trained the guys who work under him to drill just like him. So as long as they're there and in business, like I will drive the however long it takes me to get there. So
I completely agree with that. I've had people come down from Tullahoma to see me, so it's a big honor, you know. We're gonna get to kind of like into the part where we're starting to kind of wrap this up and put a bow on it. And so, if anybody has any questions for Miss Elizabeth, please leave them in the chat right here, and we'll get to that before we end to the end of the show. But Miss Elizabeth, if you wouldn't mind telling us, what is the biggest life lesson you've ever learned?
not everyone is your friend. I think that's what I put.
Verbatim.
And not everybody deserves your energy.
Oh, amen, sister. Preach that. I'm sitting here at 40 years old. I didn't realize that.
So the county that I used to bowl in before I moved to Cleveland, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was because I was a female in a male-dominated area in the bowling alley, but people just relentlessly got on me all the time. And I was so concerned about how did he feel about me? Did I say the right thing? Did I do this? And then I'm like, I took all of that time off and I moved away and I'm beating myself up because they didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve that. They didn't deserve my energy. And I didn't deserve all of this shit that they gave me. And I'm in I'm in such a healthy bowling community now. Yes, there's drama and there's other things going on, but not in the extent that I was in down there. And I will tell everybody, not everybody deserves your energy, whether it's in the bowling alley or out of the bowling alley. Like, you know what I mean? In the workplace, like everywhere.
I can't tell you how many times I have had to turn customers away because they have not respected my time of being when I'm scheduled to be there. I cannot tell you how many times. I can't tell you how many times that they've left upset And if this was me 10 years ago, I'd have felt really, really crappy about it. But now it's like, like your lack of planning doesn't constitute an emergency on my end. That's what I always say. So,
Right.
let's see here. There's something we don't have on here, but I wanted to ask you about it because I think it's very important. Um,
Okay.
if anybody on here ever watched Steph Strikes Again, Steph put a video on here asking about times when and let's see if you can relate to this. And if you have, you can tell us your experience and your thoughts about it. But she would be practicing by herself, and there would be people that would come up to him, more so men than anything, that would approach and try to offer unsolicited advice. And I could tell by the look on your face, you know where I'm going with this. So I would like for you to kind of explain your forethought about that type of scenario, and tell us how you handle it.
So at first, I would take it. I would take it all. But now I've made my game my own game. And if I'm practicing and somebody comes down and they're just like so adamant, like most of the people in this chat, they've seen my videos and they see that I pull my arm like behind my back. And I used to like really pull it behind my back, but now it's just like it's there, but like I make it work for the most part. But I would be practicing and some of these guys would just come down to me, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Try this, try that, try this." And I'm like, "Try what?" But I get it in league. So Wednesday nights in the fall, I bowl on a women's league, but we're right up next to the men's league. And when we are paired, like our team is right on the end pair for us and the end pair for the men's league, my team and we will get comments all of the time from the men, and they'll say, try throwing a better ball or try doing this. And then my favorite is, these ladies can't bowl, but like I'm taking my glasses off to tell you, like, this, it blows my mind. And because most of the time, and most of the men that say this, they will end up shooting a 118 and I'll end up shooting a 243. And I'm like, I'm a humble person, but don't put yourself in a situation that I have to be cocky to you. Like, whether it's practice, whether it's league, like there's always unsolicited advice from men as a female. And sometimes they'll go out of their way. And I'm sorry for that tangent, but I'm like, I'm worked up now. Thanks.
Why I asked, because like I said, it's just, I don't think it's discussed enough. And again, like I'm the kind of person, like I'm the type of person where I don't want to be given unsolicited advice. It's completely different if I ask you, like, hey Liz, I need another set of eyes. Can you see what I'm doing with my leg? Am I doing this right? Or whatever the case may be. It's totally different from that perspective. But from the unsolicited advice, and again, I'm just going to go on a whim and say, like I said, that women get more unsolicited advice from men than men get unsolicited advice from women. And it's just based on like what Steph just said and posted in her video. And I figure it's something that we could really, yeah. And we got JR. Yeah, JR says, I give unsolicited advice all the time. Absolutely. Well, JR, I am not a pro. I'm not a pro like you, good sir. But definitely, dude, the fact that JR Raymond made a comment during this podcast in my podcast is freaking awesome. And thank you, JR. You are the freaking man, my friend. So, but yeah, yours is entertaining. Yep, everybody's right about that. So, absolutely. But no, I figured I would ask your perspective on that. And I'm sorry for getting you worked up.
No, you're good. You're good. I almost made a video about this the other day too. No, yeah, you're good. But I made a video the other day about my hits and my misses. I made two videos. One was the hits and one was the misses. And the missus video, somebody commented on it. I don't mean to sound rude or I don't mean to sound cocky, but you should move left. And all I commented was, I know how to bowl. Thank you. I said,
Oh God.
so
Oh God. So basically, everybody out there listening, if Liz doesn't ask you for any questions about her bowling, don't give her unsolicited advice. That's the lesson we've learned here this evening. So
no, I'm okay. I promise.
no. Yeah, best advice I've ever given. Don't take advice from a 140 bowler. That's so true, Steve.
Preach.
No, like it's like the advice get like I think my most funniest moment I was out practicing and I had a guy come up to me and he goes, "Hey man, you mind if I offer you some advice?" I'm like, I wanted to hear what he had to say. It's one of those little things like it's going to be stupid coming out of his mouth, but it's like, okay, I'll entertain it. And he was basically talking about moving left and right. I was like, well, cool, man. I said, like I didn't recognize him because he obviously didn't bowl league here in Huntsville. And he's like, oh, I bowl in like Arkansas or something. But I was like, okay, cool. Like I got on like bowl.com on my phone. I said, well, what's your name? And he gave me his name and I started looking it up and nothing would pop up. He goes, oh, I don't bowl sanction, but my average is like 270. And I was like, okay, you lost me. You totally lost me. So that's why I have like a bunch of stuff where I've had customers come into the shop and they're like, yeah, I average 280 and I'm this good and everything. It's just like, oh, God.
Or somebody will go, oh, I shot 280. And then the next day I shot 290, 300. And I'm like, what's your average? And they're like, well, no. What do you throw? It doesn't matter. No.
Yeah, let's play that off.
I get it. But like, but a thought just popped into my head. One of my favorite, it's not favorite, but one of my most commented things, like when I'm practicing, men will come down and say, you got to put your wrist like this. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you got to put it like this if you want it to go like this. And I'm like, you don't know physics. So
no, but
that drives me crazy. And I literally, I'm like, tell me how your wrist feels in 3 years. Like,
JR makes a good point here. He says, also people assume PBA guys are good coaches. Most actually shouldn't try coaching. Listen, I'm going to tell you, it's probably the opposite end of the spectrum here, but and Liz, tell me what you think. But I had a guy that used to give me pointers, and I out-averaged him by 30 or 40 pins easily. He could not roll the rock. I mean, he was very good fundamentally, but he was like one of those guys you was never going to see break off a 7 or 8 bagger in the league. But he was very fundamentally sound, so that was the saving grace with me. But he was very good at articulating his coaching. So at that point, I will say that that's probably the only one time I allowed somebody in my philosophy of like, getting advice, if you will, from somebody that you could probably beat 9.5 times out of 10. But
right.
There are some people like, JR said that they're in the PBA and they can't coach or they shouldn't try coaching. And same thing on our end. There are people that they can't bowl. And I think I'm kind of transitioning into that. Like I'm able to coach, but I can't bowl worth a damn now because of my wrist. So I guess my game is evolving, or my shop being in the pro shop is evolved in that. So we'll go with that. That's my saving grace, Liz, and I'm sticking to it.
So one of the best coaches I ever had, her name was Liz, and her mental, like, she can tell you in a heartbeat, like, you got to do this, you're doing this, change it to this. But she was only like a 160 average, but she coached championships. And like, that's one thing, like, when your mental game is on point, I'm going to trust you. If your physical game is not, I'm still going to trust your mental game. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
So another question for you. You have a pie chart, okay? Percentage wise, how much of bowling is mental and how much of it is physical in your opinion?
Oh, 90% mental, 10% physical.
Why
Like
do you say that?
for your, because so many people beat themselves up without even realizing what goes in. And for instance, I did the national tournaments this year, and people show up not being mentally prepared to bowl on the sport shots. And at the end of the day, they're just beating themselves up. It takes preparedness. And whether it's the tournaments, whether it's leagues, whether it's practice, you have to go in with a positive attitude and keep the positive attitude going. Like, throw a ball, get a big 4. Oh, well, I can practice my corners. Like, you got to have something like that, not, I got a fucking big 4. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on here. But, but
that's why when I set up these episodes on YouTube, I put not for children.
Okay. Yeah, Mark says playing this game makes you mental. Period.
Yeah. Put that on a shirt.
That's why you have to have a good mental game.
Yes. I had that back in 21,
But
22, and 22, 23.
mm-hmm.
What you
And I
just said,
used to like
you go ahead.
ahead.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
I used to go in like with a great attitude, and I bowled so bad, and I'm like, I hate this, F this, blah blah blah. I don't have that anymore. And do I still beat myself up? Absolutely. Everybody does, but I'm not like throwing my balls in the dumpster anymore. And because growing and maturing as a bowler, I realize that it's me, it's not the ball. So sometimes it can still be the ball, but
I gotta ask.
it is me.
I gotta ask what scenario happened for you to throw the ball away? What happened?
I think I was just angry at everything, and the ball took the brunt of it.
Okay, what ball was it? What was the
So
what ball was it?
I don't even remember.
You were
Years.
so angry you don't even
Years.
remember. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love it. Well, it's like
I think
you
it was
said.
a Columbia something. It was like a blue. It had a blue, and it was a swirl with like a lighter gray, but it was like years ago. I don't even remember. I tried selling it for like $70, and people laughed at me. They was like, "That's not even worth it." So,
Okay.
and then I guess the dumpster was the better half. So,
All right, so we got everybody in the chat talking about which balls they've thrown in the dumpster before. So here we go. All right, so it was a Columbia unknown
not
ball.
the only one.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. This is the thing about bowling in general. Whatever scenario there is, it's probably happened at least one time in our life. So
Some of these comments, I'm like laughing.
yeah, yeah. We got a Matrix 3 from Mark. We got a big shim from Steve. I think it comes into what I'm about to ask you next that fits into the point you just made. So I'm going to ask you this. What's the best advice you were ever given, and from who?
Okay, so I remember what I put for this. And the best advice wasn't from a who, but it was from a movie. And it was from the movie For the Love of the Game.
Yep.
And it's when he says, clear the mechanism. And I would be on the lanes, overwhelmed with everything. And I just hear Billy Chappell in my head, clear the mechanism. And everything just, and whether it's on the lanes or at home or like at work or something, like I keep that in the back of my head, and I keep that as a way to regulate myself. And I don't know. I feel like it was very a powerful statement. So I don't remember the last part that I put though, but I think it was a good.
No, you basically everything you put here you remembered verbatim. So that's pretty badass there, girl. And you know what that
Good.
gets? You know what that gets you at this part of the show? That gets a, I am so damn proud of you.
Hey, thank you. I'll pat myself.
Hey, yeah, pat yourself on the back, girl. All right, Miss Liz. Here's another one for you as we're getting towards the end. If anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat now because we're getting right down. We're winding it down. We're getting to the part of what I like to call the winching hour. So, Miss Elizabeth, how do you want to be remembered by everyone?
I want to be remembered as somebody who showed up, but not perfectly. Um, and I mean by that, I'm not going to show up to every like family function or stuff like that, but there will be times where I'll get a phone call at 2:30 in the morning from somebody I haven't talked to in 8 or 9 years. Hey, so and so is in your area. They're drinking. Can you pick them up? Absolutely. 100%. I'm going to show up. I'm going to make sure you're safe 100% of the time. Um, and I'm getting chills like right now. Like there have been times where I've saved my friends. Like he drove trucks and he wanted his keys and he was like fist fighting the other guys. And I get a phone call saying, "Can you go pick Tim up?" Yes, I'm gonna go pick Tim up. And like the next day, I I get a phone call from him and he's like, "Liz, you saved my life. You saved my job. Like I'm gonna show up 100% of the time in that aspect." Um, I forget what else that I put. I want people to remember me. I do have a really big heart, and my love for the little things is astronomical. I want people to remember me by, I don't know. I don't even remember what I put, but I hope that resonates, the first part at least.
You said you want to be remembered as someone who made others feel like they could breathe easier just by being around you, who encourages them to be their
Yes,
authentic self in a safe place or safe space. Excuse me.
yes, and yes, and I'm going to be my most authentic self 100% of the time, even to a complete stranger. So even though like strangers don't know it, I'm a safe place. Like they can be like falling down the steps and I'll help them up and then I'll be like, "You good?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm just clumsy." I'm like, "Yes, sis, me too." Like 100% of the time.
Well, I tell you, it was like again. I think and I know you know this, but you were at nationals and you were like, "Hey, I'm seeing y'all, but I cannot hear you because we're out here having a couple of drinks and everything." And I think you remember what like a bunch of us said. It was like, "Hey, you get home safe or
Right.
wherever you were staying." So
Right. And I ended up, yeah, I was drinking that night and I think you and Pickles, you guys got concerned about me or something. And I told you I'm okay, I'm not driving.
mhm.
And I messaged both of you that night and I'm
Yeah.
like, "I'm safe. I'm back at the hotel." So yeah.
Mark has a question for you. He asks, "What
Okay.
is your goal for yourself in bowling in the next year or up to 5 years?"
Okay. So next year, I hope to consistently hold a 200 average. I'm almost there. I'm at a 196 right now. I have held 200 in the past, but that was as a youth. I have not as an adult. I used to actually throw off of the wrong foot, and I had so much speed behind it. And once I like completely changed, my average dropped like 60 pins. So I'm so proud of where I am today. Um, also, over the next year, my goal is to consistently make single pin spares, because that is my downfall to the game. If I'm not striking, I'm not scoring because my spare game is really bad. So I have been doing drills. I have been doing like zoning. I've been like hitting my mark no matter like how dry the lanes are, how oiled, how dry. I'm currently signed up to bowl in one of our local Queens events. It's a scratch thing. Mm-hmm. I would like to enter more lady scratch stuff. That's a little out of my comfort zone, but I'm never going to be out of my comfort zone if I don't go out of my comfort zone. So
Mark
I think that made sense.
is also asking you, do you use the 369 method?
I don't know what that means. So if you can elaborate, I might be able to tell you.
The way I use the 369 method is so for every 3 boards you move left or right, you move 1 board left or right with your target. So it's like 3-1, 6-2, 9-3. That's how I coach it.
Right.
Mark, are we on the same page with that? And I know Mark will definitely get in this when he can. We know that how slow he is with technology. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the show. We know how slow Mark is with technology. You know, he has his all 50-plus senior sponsorships. So I'm sure. But everybody coming in, just want to welcome you in. This is episode 25 of Calling All Bowlers. We are talking to Miss Elizabeth Warren, also known as Liz Lizard. She definitely is the popular one with the lizard. We've put that to play. And I think you have now started. So now anytime I make something like that on my TikToks, you're definitely getting tagged on every single one of those.
Yep. Yeah. But it's just like, it's been a universal thing from like my friends, my childhood friends, my adult friends, my bowling friends. They're all like finding personal videos of the lizard and sending them to me. So yeah, it's funny. But my next like big goals, I will be doing the Ohio Queens in January. And my goal for that, every year that I've bowled it, my goal has to not place last. And I have beat that goal every single time. My next goal for the Ohio State Queens is to make the first cut. And with work, and if I can make my spares, I can make that happen.
Well, if you're practicing your single pin spares, I'm sure that's going to improve exponentially. So,
yeah.
To confirm what Mark was referring to, he says for spares, every pin off the head pin, you move 3 boards and use your strike target, mainly for left side spares if you're right-handed and vice versa.
So I do a lot of 3-in-1 and 2-in-1. And then I also like, if it's not working and my ball choices are limited, I will move right and I'll suitcase. I'll like straighten myself out and then just like throw the ball. But no, that's something that I need to work on more. Mark.
Well, Elizabeth, do you have any social media outlets you want to plug in for everyone so that they know where to follow you at?
So on Instagram, I am Vinny's Mommy. You could find it on my page. My baking page is 10 Pin Confections on Facebook and Instagram. But I would also like to shout out Apparel Effects. And I would also like to shout out Bowlers Inc., which is my husband's bowling brand.
So tell us a little more about that. What does that entail?
So it's really low key right now. but it's been going on for quite some time. It's really just a name right now, and it's gonna grow to tournaments. I think they did tournaments before we met, but now we have a pro shop in our basement. I can show you if you'd like, but we have a pro shop building in our basement, and we're gonna get stuff going on with that.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all heard it here first. In the know with Miss Elizabeth here, and y'all go give her a follow if you've not done so already, and check her out on IG and check her out on Facebook. But Elizabeth, I want to say thank you so much for coming on here and talking to us about everything. I definitely have learned.
You're welcome.
I have definitely learned a lot of things, and that's one thing I like about hosting these shows is, we all know bowling to the extent, but there's a level we can always dive into to see if there's something more a little bit deeper in there. And there's also stuff from the non-bowling part of it that we can also be educated on. So I really appreciate you coming on here and talking to us about all that stuff and your story. And like I said, I appreciate you coming into the lives. And you just heard it from Mark here. You get a free lesson if you're ever coming to Nash Vegas. So there you go.
Hey, I'm only like 6 hours out, so let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know. I will be driving to Alabama in May. I'm coming.
You're coming for the Derek Tate
and
Memorial?
I have a few. Yes, sir. And I have a few other people coming with me.
Okay.
So.
Well, that list will start getting put together in January of 26 because I always start that list 4 months out because I definitely think that that's going to be something. And see, look, yeah, Mark's going to be there. Pickles will be back for round 2. So heck yeah. So you guys will see that on damngoodaveragebowler.com. I'll start taking signups on there. Also, I figure I'd go ahead and tell you guys on damngoodaveragebowler.com, if you guys are planning on coming down for the Fall Scratch Endurance Classic, you can go on there and register to hold your spot. You don't have to pay. You pay that day of the tournament. But that's going to be Saturday, October 4th. So if you guys are planning on coming down for that, go ahead and get to the website. Fill that out. It'll send me a reservation. I'll get your spot held. I've had 2 emails come through, so I know it is working. So you guys check that out as well. But no, for real, go follow Miss Elizabeth. You got her tag right here. Go to her profile. Go ahead and give her a follow. And like I said, Liz, it was really great getting to know you here. And just keep on doing what you're doing, girl. I am proud of you. I'm proud of everything you're doing. And like I said, when you get onto that PWBA train, just when you win a PWBA title, just give a shout out to D-Gab. And that'll make me tear up.
I will 100%. And can I say something
yes.
Before so I was practicing last week and a little kid comes up to me and he's like, I want to throw the ball like you one day. And I just chills all over my body. And I'm thinking in my head, I might not ever be on the PWBA, and that's okay. It's a goal. Yes, it's a goal. But for a little kid to come to me, not knowing me and saying, I want to throw the ball like you. I want to be like you. That is what it's about. That is what bowling is about. And another kid commented on one of my videos and he said, hey, I was bowling right next to you the other day. I remember you. Like that stuff, just that's what bowling is about. And I know a lot of other people feel that way too. And that's what it's about. So
I think that goes
yes.
back to what you said, Liz. It goes back to it's the little things in life. And that's really what makes it.
Period.
Yep. That's really what makes it. I've had that happen in the shop where they're like, I've seen you on TikTok. And I was like, best day ever.
Yep.
But no, you guys go follow Miss Elizabeth. Check out her stuff. She's freaking awesome. And like I said, keep on keeping on. And I am so damn proud of you, Liz, and keep doing what you're doing, girl. And I appreciate you coming on to the show. Okay.
Yep. Thank you. 2025 is halfway through. So you're halfway through now.
Yep. We are halfway through the year. 2026 will be here before you know it. We're going to be putting up Christmas decorations before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right.
I'll be putting my Halloween decorations up in 2 weeks. So
Oh boy, you're gonna. How's the husband feel about that?
he doesn't know
He
yet.
doesn't know. Of course. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Well, if he's on here, you heard it first. She's putting him up, bro. You ain't got no choice. All right, Liz. Thank you so much for joining us, y'all. Before I get off here, we're about a half-hour break. Get ready because Pickles, Brett, Cobra, and Steven will be on for the learning curve. Please tune in to their show. And you never know, your boy might be making an appearance. He may not. So just tune in and stay tuned for that. But 8 o'clock Central is when they'll be going on, and I'll be popping in there in the chat. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Liz, thank you so much again. It was an absolute pleasure. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right. Y'all have a wonderful evening. We'll talk soon.